Hey everybody. Good evening.
Hey, I'm typing up a tweet to let people know.
We just got away talking while we were in the pre-stream there, and just didn't realize we didn't do a tweet. So we're like, why is there only 57 people here? So tonight we are joined by Michael B, the Game Genie, who is was a supporter of our channel like very early on, and even appeared in one of our earlier videos.
I did, yeah.
The Fantasy Star video, which is, holy cow, that was almost, was that 3 years ago now? It's so weird to think about. And tonight we're playing Vice Project Doom because Mike did a video. It was about 3 years ago now, about NES hidden gems, and this game was on it. And that is, would you say that's probably your most popular video that you have now?
Oh, absolutely, by far.
Yeah, that was definitely for me and another one of our friends. It was like super influential. Like it hit like at the right time for us, I think, because we were like just getting a lot more heavily into sort of digging into the depths of certain console libraries, particularly NES, I guess you'd say. Where, like for years and years, it was like, oh, I've got what I want for NES. I've got what I want for Super Nintendo and all those systems, But then, you start finding some of these videos. It's like, oh, well, telling me something new. I didn't necessarily know about some of these games, but it was really your list that I think, like, just took the hold the most for us because
you were talking about it for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, the way you presented that list, I think, was kind of in a way where it was like, okay, this guy has, like, actually given these games some time. And, these are, I like sort of the approach of, these are my favorite games that I discovered after the NES's day, when I got back into getting NES games. So that was just a, I felt like I could relate to that sort of approach. And so it was always like, when we were, going game hunting, it was always like, oh, there's Shadow of the Ninja, or, there's Vice Project Doom, there's Shatterhand, it was like always kind of like, you're seeing all these other interesting games, but it was like, oh, these are the ones from the Michael B, the Game Genie list. These are the ones to watch. So yeah, like we ended up getting a bunch of those games. So we appreciate it.
No problem. We were talking earlier. I think there's some question on some of the titles, maybe not hidden gems. Kickmaster, maybe.
Yeah, well, but again, I think it wasn't necessarily hidden gems, but it was the games that you discovered after the NES's day that you like. Kickmaster is really interesting, though. I've not gotten it myself yet. I don't know if I will. A friend of mine got it, and he hasn't played through it yet. And we've tested it out and played around with it a little bit. It's really interesting. Like, it's got this kind of cool power-up system. It's got like, if I remember right, it's got like this like tutorial where it like explains like all of these complex moves and stuff that you can do. It's like some kind of interesting, almost modern aspects to it. Though it's a little weird, but I feel like I could get into it if I played it a little more.
Yeah, it's totally weird, and it does have some really interesting RPG elements as you go along, where you actually have to build up points to progress your character's moveset. And if you don't, you will not make it through the game. Like I don't know. I'm a pretty casual NES player, so I don't want to say it's too challenging. But yeah, if you don't build up, you're not gonna get through. If you're at my level, casual.
Well, I think another game that I was like kind of unsure of at first, but finally like really got into was Shadow of the Ninja. Because again, my friend, he got that. And we started off playing it, like we were playing it co-op, and it was just like, I don't know about this, because it really just turned out to be a bad co-op game. Yep. Because the enemy behavior in that game is it's kind of unusual. Like the way that the enemies behave just is almost kind of unexpected in some ways. And when when you've got two players in the mix, you can't really like manipulate the enemy behavior in the way that that you kind of need to progress in the game.
Yeah.
So, I wasn't sure about it first, but then my friend played through it solo. He's like, actually, this is really good. You should get it. And I think it was maybe 2 years ago at Too Many Games. I saw a really cheap copy of it. So I got that. But I would say that my, Vice Project Doom that Corey's going to play tonight, that is...
I'm going to go ahead and start it, since we're talking about the subject of it anyways.
Go ahead. And that is, I would say, definitely one of the best games from the list. I would say my favorite game from the list is Shatterhand.
Yeah.
Shatterhand is super good. And, I actually didn't know until earlier this year that the Japanese version is based on like I want to say it's like a tokusatsu style series. Am I right on that? Or is that news to you?
That's news to me. Yeah.
Vice is?
No, not Vice. Shatterhand.
Yeah.
Oh. Shatterhand. Yeah, it's because we saw this game at Too Many Games. Or not Too Many Games. We saw it at MagFest at the Mad Gear booth, and I think it was Dave was looking at it, and he was like, "I don't know. The cover of this game looks interesting. What is this?" And we looked it up. We're like, "Oh, this is Shatterhand, but it's like it's a different character, and like one of the levels is completely different. I forget what level in the original game it is, but it's got like something like a circus theme or something in the Japanese version. But yeah, it's based on something. I think it's like a live action special effects type show in Japan.
Yeah, I didn't know that. And I'm a real sucker for this. Like, if I find a game I like, whenever I see a review come up on YouTube, I'll go take a look at it, and I'll be like, oh, let's see what they think of Shatterhand. I haven't heard that on that either.
Yeah, so that, I don't know. I need to look it up a little bit more. The other kind of crazy thing is that Power Blade, which is another, I would say another one of the top games on your list. That was a good one. Oh, I love that. It's probably passed it on the stream now, but I love that wavy fire effect. This game, like
the translation seems hilarious, actually.
The funny thing about most of these games and most of the games that were on my list was they were all when I started collecting Nintendo Power, when I got my first subscription, was around, I think it was issue 20. So there was like a hit of just issue after issue after issue. It was Metal Storm, Vice Project Doom, Power Blade, right in a row. And I mean, these games were all fantastic, and I don't know how they were ever overlooked. They were right there, Nintendo Power.
Yeah, you would think.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the cutscenes in this game, they kind of try to do the Ninja Gaiden thing. But like I feel like there are fewer like poses and frames and stuff. Like they recycle a lot of like angles.
Yeah.
I guess more so than Ninja Gaiden. But yeah, I mean, this is a cool game. It's got like the driving shmup. It's got the the platforming is the main part, but it's definitely the best part. And then it's got like some like shooting gallery type stuff, right? That's the third thing, I think.
Yeah, interesting. Like the angle of you climbing on the ladder, it looks really weird. It's not like straight on.
Oh yeah. It's like from the side. Definitely a little unique.
There's definitely some questionable design choices in there. Like when you talk about I always call them cinema scenes or cut scenes. There's some times where I'm like, wow, this is really impressive, and other times where I'm like, kind of cheap.
Yeah, it's a mixture.
He's got a cool looking jump though. I'm a big fan of cool looking when characters look really cool and they jump.
This is actually one of the games, when we put a game in like one of our RGB episodes or just one of our episodes that just has like, general clips from a variety of games, like this is always one of the most commented on ones where people will drop the time code and say what game, because it looks cool. I could usually like predict what games those are going to be, because it's going to be like it's going to be some cool looking action game that a lot of people might not know about, or it's going to be some RPG, or
Whoa.
some RPG that people might not know about. But I was going to say earlier, Power Blade. That was another game on your list, which unfortunately Power Blade 2. That one is pricey. I'd love to get Power Blade 2, but I did get Power Blade 1. That one is very good. Oh,
look at that. That's a cool effect. And the screen splits apart.
Yeah, Power Blade 2, that from when I started collecting like all the NES games, that one was always expensive. That one was always up. I think it was 250 was going here.
Isn't it like 700 now, maybe?
Everything's out of control. I don't know anymore. Like Zombie Nation, everything is just so expensive. I feel bad for anybody who's out there trying to get all these games now.
Yeah, I mean, they're all super. 90% of them are super expensive now.
Yeah, and I mean, some of the ones that I never got that I'll probably not get now, like Panic Restaurant. It really kills me I don't have Panic Restaurant. But
I know nothing about that game. I see it talked about a lot, but I don't think I've ever even seen like a.
I had that was again, I think it was before we started the stream. We were talking about Felix the Cat, which is one of the games I got at Too Many Games. But on the same stream, that was the stream that Corey, you were out of town for some reason. I had Duke on the stream, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I was playing a bunch of random games on the NT Mini. And Duke was talking about Panic Restaurant, which was a game I wasn't familiar with. And it was very, very good. But yeah, I saw a couple of copies at Too Many Games, and it's like $700 some.
Man,
the really sad thing was a couple of years ago, I got really lucky right around Christmas time. This guy that was a local collector decided he was going to get out of it. He wanted to get into collecting comics. So I ended up getting a lot of really high-end titles off him for pretty good prices. And one of the games he had was Panic Restaurant, which he sold to one of my other friends who does have a complete NES collection now.
Oh, and wow.
He only paid $100 for Panic Restaurant, and this one was going for like $400. So that kind of killed me. But at the same time, I got a lot of really high-end titles from pretty cheap too. So I couldn't be too upset.
How many from a complete collection are you at this point?
I had 672. So yeah.
How many are there total?
672.
Yeah.
Out of what's the total? 7 something?
Oh, yeah, I guess don't go that way.
I think it's 768 is the official. That's the official North American with all the I guess not all the unlicensed games too. Yeah.
Okay.
Not including PAL or anything like that. It's been a while since I checked though, because I haven't been able to buy anything.
So I noticed when I rewatched that video, I think I watched it yesterday, and you said it was on your 2-year anniversary of doing YouTube. That's when you put that video out. So you've been doing it for a long time. You've been on YouTube for a long time.
Yeah, I don't know if it's 5 years now. 5?
I mean, yeah. If I would assume. I mean, that's pretty quite a while, I think, in terms of the overall scheme of things.
Yeah, but like most people, you're on YouTube making videos, but you're probably lurking and watching videos for another couple of years before that too.
Right.
So it's been a while.
Unless you're Try.
Unless you're what?
Because Try never really has any idea what's going on.
I'm pretty lazy about watching videos in general, unless Corey links me to a video. It's not that I don't want to watch videos. It's just that it's I can't multitask, and I feel like when a lot of people watch videos, they have a video on the background or something. And if I have a video on the background, I'm going to just watch the video, and I never get anything. I just get sucked into this hole where I watch a bunch of stuff that I'm oh, I feel bad because I haven't done anything. So I always just just why are people doing fireworks? It's a couple days early. It's a day late in Canada and a day early here.
Yeah, I'm the exact same way. I'll plan that I'm gonna play something, and then I'm like, oh, I'll just watch one YouTube video first, and I can't do anything else. So then I'll end up watching 4 hours of YouTube, and I'm like, oh, I gotta go to bed.
Yeah, so I'm always just like, I'd rather play a video game than, you know, I mean, I want to watch more videos. I just can't quite get around to it. I will watch what Coury tells me to.
There's so many people making videos now too. I find it very, very hard to find certain things. And like the way YouTube's structured, I'll go in to look for something specific. I can't find it. I've got to actually go up to the search bar and look for the person. Like you'll never be able to actually just run through subscriptions and find anything anymore.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what everyone's struggling with, right? That people's subscriptions just like get lost, and I think it's just because everyone's subscribed to so many people at this point.
Yeah.
Well, that's the big thing. Like when I first started watching YouTube, I was subscribed to like 10 channels. So there was excitement. You know, when a new video came up, it would only be like every 2 days because you're only subscribed to 10 people.
Yeah.
But when you subscribe to like 500, 600, it's hard to keep up.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not subscribed to that many. 500, 600, that's crazy to think about. I can't even. You'd miss like everything pretty much.
Yeah.
I think the translation, this is pretty great. I like when you finish the first stage and the guy's like, you know, his hands on his chin. He's like, "Hey, what's going on here?" So my wife and kids are at the in-laws tonight, and so I'm enjoying a little Southern Tier distillery whiskey during this stream. I hope that's okay.
Well, hopefully it's not going to hurt your chances of finishing tonight.
Well, we'll see what happens. It might increase it.
I am enjoying some form of black cherry flavored water.
Oh. It's not LaCroix though, right? LaCroix doesn't have.
You know,
don't even say I don't like LaCroix.
I don't really like LaCroix.
You're crazy.
It tastes like seltzer water with a little bit of flavor in it. I don't like seltzer water.
Wait, seltzer water? Or do you just call it seltzer water, or is that just?
I have a bad habit of accidentally saying seltzer water instead of seltzer water.
I mean, is it directly attributed to
Final Fantasy VI?
Yeah.
Yes, because a friend of mine I got into seltzer water like way back, like when we were in high school, and we called it seltzer water just as a joke, and I have a hard time nowadays including the L because of that.
Whoa,
we call it seltzer water, but I mean I know you guys are obsessed with it, but I mean I'm trying it. It's just like. It tastes like seltzer water with just a little bit of flavoring.
Well, that's what I like about it.
I don't like. Do you like seltzer water?
Yeah, I do.
I can't stand it. Like it's like the idea of just like flavorless carbonation is just like gross to me. Like I love water. I love carbonated drinks. I don't like just carbonated water. It's gross. And LaCroix is just like not far enough removed from that for me to get into. So like,
can these stages be played with a blaster, like with a zapper? I mean,
I don't think you can, but I don't know.
I don't know if it was kind of a Bayou Billy type thing. Because can't you use the
I don't think you use the zapper for this. I think this is controller only.
It's pretty cool. I like how he said, "Come on, boys, let's party." It's like very, very Devil May Cry-ish. Which I mean, obviously followed this. Maybe Devil May Cry was inspired by this. Doubtful.
That's questionable, yeah.
But it's interesting. There's 3 different styles. I mean, that first stage is very, Spy Hunter and inspired.
Yeah. But I think there's only like 2 segments of the alternate modes each, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's good because these are the side-scrolling parts are definitely the best.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've actually played through this game. When I did my top 10 video, I didn't play all the way through, but I actually reviewed this game too, and I played it from start to finish to capture it. But that was 3-4 years ago now, so that was the last time I probably played through this all the way.
Yeah, it was maybe 1.5 to 2 years ago for me.
So, Mike, I always think about your Halloween stuff. Like you do like a lot of stuff like around Halloween, and you always do the thing that's like the silver shamrock, and it like
Yeah.
Halloween 3 like really messed with me because I saw it when I was way too young. Probably, I think I've talked about this before.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, when did it come out? Probably like 84 or something. I don't know. I saw it like when I was definitely, you know, I probably saw it. I was in elementary school for sure. And man, when like, I think the thing that just gets to me is that, you know, like the kid that dies.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the first child that's in the tester room.
Yeah.
The greatest buyer. Yeah.
Oh man.
So it's a pretty disgusting scene, and it really catches you off guard.
Yeah.
I didn't like Halloween 3 growing up very much because obviously you expect it's going to be more Michael Myers. So typical guy that was like, well, this isn't what I was expecting. But as I got older, I started to really appreciate it, and it's good. It's interesting.
It's worth watching for sure.
Well, I think it's a little bit better than worth watching. And John Carpenter talked about it. John Carpenter talked about it a lot. This was his idea. He didn't want to do a sequel. It was all supposed to be an anthology type series.
Right.
So he did a sequel. So he got to do his own movie, and I think it's great going back and watching it now. But
Did he direct 3?
No, he didn't. He didn't.
Yeah.
Wait, he did. Yeah. He directed 3. John Carpenter directed 3. Halloween 3.
He was involved with 3. He at least did the music.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think he directed it, but
he didn't direct 2 either.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, what's crazy about 2 is like the first time I watched 2, I was like so into it because like it was just awesome. That's like picking up like
immediately
right after
the moment after. Yeah.
It's just like, and then like, you know, like that's like the moment where like Loomis just like flips. And he's just like, you know, I shot him 6 times. And it's just like from that moment on, like Loomis is just like
he's just crazy,
but he's awesome too, you know? Yeah. And like I was just like so super into like, you know, that you know, just direct continuation, picking up right after, like I loved it. I was way into that. And then like the second, like, and I didn't know at the time that John Carpenter didn't do 2.
Yeah.
And so I was just, I ate up the whole thing. Like I just loved how it was like a direct continuation. It's like, it was like the same movie, you know? But then like the second time I watched it, it's like super obvious that it's got a totally different tone.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. When you watch his movies again, it's like, okay, I can see.
You can see the quality difference. Not that 2 is a bad movie.
No, it's not. I mean, I love.
But it ends pretty definitively.
I like the idea of 2 much more than I like 2 in retrospect. But yeah, the first movie is. I mean, the thing with a John Carpenter movie, I mean, you know, you don't necessarily know if it's going to be like good, but you know you're in for it. You know you're in for a trip of some kind. It's going to be a fun time.
So how do you feel about 3 though now? I mean, do you?
Me?
Yeah. I mean, do you
I
like 3?
I've actually only seen 3 once, but I mean, I liked it from the get-go. And you know, that might have just been expectations because I knew going into it that this is the weird one. Has nothing to do with Michael Myers. I knew the whole story about this and unrelated anthology is what John Carpenter wanted in the first place. So I knew all that stuff going in, and I think I was able to just approach it for what it was, and I thought it was a interesting, unique movie.
It's pretty bleak.
The Silver Shamrock stays with you for sure.
Oh yeah, it's very memorable, and I forget the guy's name. That's actually the star of that movie. But
the guy with the mustache. I can't think of his name either.
If you go back and look through like most of the cheesiest 80s horror movie, he is the definitive cheesy 80s movie horror actor. He was also in Night of the Creeps, which is also another fantastic and terrible movie. I don't know if you guys are big horror movie guys or not.
Oh yeah,
I'm sorry.
I mean, I haven't. I have not. There is much deeper into it I could delve, but I definitely consider myself a horror fan, maybe not a horror buff, but a horror fan.
Yeah. If you haven't seen Night of the Creeps, you've got to watch it.
I've not seen that.
Oh, is that the one where everyone turns into red dust?
No, it's
like the Night of the Comet, isn't it?
Night of the Comet, yeah. The Night of the Creeps is really hard to explain. The best way to explain it is if you're trying to get a sensible storyline out of it, it's not going to happen. My wife just randomly walked by while I was watching it, and there's about 7 different storylines that happen right at the beginning. Basically, aliens fly over, and then there's serial axe murder going after these guys in the back of a convertible in the 50s, and then it shoots 30 years in the future. It's really, really hard to follow at first, but it all comes together for a real masterpiece of garbage at the end.
It sounds pretty awesome. I mean, I know the name for sure. I know I've heard the name.
Yeah, and
man, come on, get on there.
The guy from Halloween 3 is in it. He's just got this famous line that always sticks with me. Like, whenever he walks into a room, he just looks at everybody and he's like, "All right, thrill me." I want to use that in real life.
Man, this is a little tough right here. It's random, so it's...
Oh, it's truly random, huh?
It seems to be.
Well, weird. I don't remember this part.
This game does use a lot of patterns. It's not obvious. Like, the bosses are very, very easy. That's one thing you'll notice as you go through. Once you understand their patterns, it's...
Yeah. I remember having to go through the last level several times before I finally got the last boss down, though.
No, he sucks. Hey, I'm trying to remember now, and I think there's a lot of ducking between his legs. That's how you've got to...
I remember, like going under him. I remember a bit of that.
What are some other horror movies that you really enjoy? I mean, I like to talk like 80s horror movies.
How much time do you have?
Well,
I would not be opposed to this turn into an 80s horror conversation. That's always good times.
I like, honestly, I'm at the point where I watch most of the stuff I really like many times.
What about The Stuff?
Yeah, The Stuff I actually only watched for the first time this past year, and I gotta say I'm actually a really big fan of that. I watched a couple other movies that I've always wanted to see, like 976 Evil, and I was a little bit disappointed with that. But like, I've got a pretty extensive like horror movie Blu-ray DVD collection, so I finally found 976 Evil, and then I watched it, and I was like, you know what, 10 years just wasn't worth the wait to find this.
How do you feel about Phantasm?
I just watched the newest Phantasm a little while ago, and I can honestly say it's one movie series where I'll watch the entire thing and then just walk away and say, I have no idea what happened. I can't tell you one distinguishable moment from the entire series after watching them all right now.
My sort of history with that, the same friend that, we were looking for NES games from your list.
Yeah.
We watch horror movies all the time, and he, like, years ago he was started watching Phantasm, which I'd never heard of, and he was like, okay, I gotta stop watching this because this is ridiculous, and we gotta watch this together. And so we were just rolling watching that movie, Like it was like another Troll 2 to us. like it was like on that level. And in retrospect, it's actually kind of funny. But at the time, we were like watching it with the same mindset of Troll 2. We're like, this is hilarious. Like, you know, the little guys jumping on them, and you've got the little crawly thing, and you know, and they
How do I hurt this
push
boss?
it down the disposal.
It's hard for me to watch movies because I'm the irritating guy you don't want to watch a movie with, because I'll stop a movie and rewind it to try to understand it, and I can't do that with Phantasm. Like every second someone comes back to life and you don't know if they're really back to life or there's some kind of weird replicant.
Yeah,
it's really hard to follow.
It's so weird, but we were just rolling. We just thought this was the funniest thing, and then we start up Phantasm 2, and you know, Phantasm, what, you know, the crazy thing about Phantasm is, while I'm kind of talking about Halloween 1 to 2, it picks up every single movie in the series, with the exception of the newest one. Picks up the second the previous one left off.
Yeah.
And well, you know, the funny thing, of course, is like the actors are like 10 to 15 years older between movies. But whatever. But it works in the end when, you know, they bring back the original actor who played the boy.
Yeah.
It's like that's much older than, you know, that ends up kind of working really well. But bizarre movie, made no sense, but we thought it was hilarious. Second movie, you know, we're kind of like, you know, it's trying too hard, you know, it's trying too hard to be actually good, you know. Well, I should back up before I get to the second movie. We looked up some, I don't know, we looked up some stuff on YouTube about Phantasm for some reason, and we came across all this stuff that were like, these people were talking about, you know, this is like this classic horror movie, and this part, you know, was so scary. It's one of the absolute scariest moments in all of movies, and people were talking how brilliant it is, and we're like, our minds are blown, because we had just finished watching this thinking this was like another Troll 2, basically, this nonsensical bad horror movie, and we're like, whoa, like people genuinely, legitimately like this movie, and we're like, this is weird. And so we watched Phantasm 2, and you know, the cool part of that is, you know, the Reggie gets he makes the quad barrel shotgun. so that's awesome. But then 3 brings back the original kid actor, who's of course much older now. And, you know, and then it sort of starts, you know, it's like things are sort of starting to come together a little bit. And then 4 comes along and uses all of this footage from the unused footage from the first movie.
Yeah.
When, like, they were all, like, young, and we're, like, flipping out because it's, like, edited into it in this, like, brilliant way, as if they had actually planned it. And we're like, oh my gosh, these people had a plan from the beginning. The story, like, makes sense.
Try is freaking out. He loves talking about this. He loves talking about this movie.
And then so, like, we just Phantasm 4 was just like a trip. But I thought it was so cool how it was all edited, like, the first movie, like, plays into it, and, like, they've got all these flashbacks. It's just a ton of unused footage. It's absolutely insane. And we didn't rewatch any of them until the 5th one came out, and we decided that we were going to, since they all pick up back to back, we decided we were going to do it all in one day. We did the entire Phantasm series, including the new 5th one, in one day. And, you know, I think we definitely came up with, like, an actual appreciation, I think, for, like, you know, the first few movies.
Yeah.
You know, revisiting them after we weren't looking at them as if, you know, they're a complete joke. But the fifth movie was weird because it's actually my understanding that they started shooting that as if it was going to be like a series of shorts. And then they eventually realized, well, we've got enough stuff to just make a movie. And knowing that,
It's got to be a good feeling. Them.
Yeah, I mean, knowing that that it actually was like supposed to be a bunch of shorts, like it kind of makes a lot of sense because it's a very disjointed movie, and I found it disappointing that they didn't like conclusively conclude it. You know, it's like there's
they did kind of a cop-out ending where none of it really happened anyways, and he died, so he went off into his fantasy world. It was a real cop-out type ending.
Yeah, well, I mean, the ending, like during the credits, like they were all like in this like post-apocalypse, and they were going like north or something to some base. Yeah. But like they didn't, like, you know, they need to conclude it. So like, I mean, the guy who plays the tall man is dead. So I mean,
was he dead when they made Phantasm 5?
No, he was alive.
He's still alive then.
I think he was dead before it released.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember now because it's been a while if I've seen it. I don't know if they did a thing for him in the credits afterwards. What is he? His name Angus Young, I think. No,
that's
it's Angus something.
Grimm.
Yeah.
Angus Grimm.
Grimm.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand the people who see Phantasm as a masterpiece. And while I'm watching it, I really have to question: are they being serious? Do they know they're cheesy?
I question it too. Like, but
really quick. Did he just the cutscene just say they look at this facility that I'm in now, and he said, "Not bad, not bad." It's amazing what they can do with brick these days.
I don't remember being as impressed by the translation as you are.
I'm pretty impressed by it right now.
This game has such a weird story too. This is the Phantasm of games because I can't tell you what's happening in the story.
Yeah,
it's very fitting that we had this conversation while playing this.
Yeah, they definitely tried to go Ninja Gaiden with this, but didn't quite have as strong of a story. Not to imply that Ninja Gaiden has like some masterpiece story or anything, but for the time it was really cool, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with Ninja Gaiden's story.
Well, Ninja Gaiden 3 story, there might be a little bit.
Yeah. I'll agree with that.
The what they call bionoids.
Yeah. I think the first one has a really good story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it works.
Big revelation at the end, surprise.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Well, you guys continue on with talking about. Are you guys done with Phantasm? I didn't mean to interrupt.
I know. I think we're done with Phantasm. Phantasm is over.
Oh.
Are you disappointed?
I like how excited you always get about it, because it's
the fourth movie. Like, you should have seen me and Drum flipping out about the fourth movie. Like, it was. That's like one of my favorite like movie watching experiences. Is like just like how blown our minds were when we watched 4 and seeing the footage from the like unused, like tons of unused footage from the first movie. Like,
there was a plan all along.
Can you imagine though, like being the editor for it and being like, oh, people are not going to expect this at all.
Yeah, I mean, it was like
it was a movie for the fans. They were doing it for the fans.
I mean, I've never seen anything like that done before. Like, to the extent that it was done. Like, it's really cool.
Yeah, they basically scooped like even George Lucas for using unused footage here. I mean, it's obviously what we've come to the conclusion is Phantasm 4 is the ultimate movie.
Basically. It's just I mean, it's certainly not an amazing movie, but it's just that technique is so cool.
What do the bottles of something do? So, like, looks like pills.
Aren't they Molotovs or something?
Oh, are they? Whoa.
Or I don't. Oh, the ones that you pick. I don't know if that refills your Molotovs. I think it does. By the way, this has nothing to do with anything we're discussing, but it just randomly popped in my head that my PS4 is in sleep mode in the middle of suspended in the middle of the Gravity Rush 2 ending because I couldn't finish it before the stream. It's like one of those walk around and visit people sort of endings.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than especially now that I have kids and I've got to stay up late to play games if I really want to try to get through something. And you're staying up till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning to try to finish something. You get work the next morning. You're like, I've beat the game, and then there's an hour and 20-minute ending.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or the thing that gets me is when the the last area, it's like, oh, I finally made it to the last area. Let's do this, and then it's it takes you 4 hours to beat the last area.
Oh yeah.
Well, sort of the weird thing with Gravity Rush 2 was it kind of had a full credit sequence in this place I was at earlier today. It was but that didn't feel like a very satisfying ending, and it wasn't really the real ending. So I had to go a little further to get the true ending, I guess.
I used to find it so strange. I remember playing in the PlayStation era. The first time I rented Wild. You ever played Wild Arms on the PlayStation?
Oh yeah, we're huge fans of Wild Arms.
Yes. I've never beat the first 2 Wild Arms games, but I remember the first time I played it, you play it for about an hour, and then all of a sudden it just goes into this credit sequence to announce that the game is beginning, and I was like, wait a minute, watch this happen. What's happening here?
Yep. Because, you think it's going to be... there was it's amazing that, the entire intro sequence is as long as it is in that.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I really gotta go back.
Oh yeah. I remember it was it was like that funeral scene.
Right.
5 hours into the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's actually a pretty good intro.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Wild Arms series doesn't get enough love.
Oh yeah, we're Coury was a really big fan of it, and
it was the first PlayStation game I got. Wild Arms was. When I was waiting for Final Fantasy VII to come out.
Yeah, and I don't know if can you still give people PlayStation Network gifts? Well, I don't know if you can still do that, but anyway, years ago, before we started the channel, you just randomly gave me Wild Arms as a gift.
Right.
And I don't think you expected me to like it nearly as much as I did.
Man, I feel like this is not that hard, but it is kind of hard. This guy.
It's all about pattern memorization. That's every single boss in this game. Once you get the pattern down, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, the tricky thing with this is clearly figuring out how to manipulate the missiles into going in your favor.
Right. I think I might have it.
Have you ever watched the Puppet Master series?
I saw a movie. I don't think so. I saw something else that was huh?
Demonic toys, dolls.
There was I saw a demonic. I think it was Dolls movie. I forget what it was called though. It was like these people ended up. I think their car broke down. They ended up staying the night at this old couple's mansion.
Yeah, that's Dolls.
I thought so.
Dolls isn't super. I'm not a big fan of Dolls, but
yeah.
The Puppet Master series is terrible overall. But the first movie is actually really interesting. It's actually pretty good. It does this whole thing and talks about psychics and this ancient right to actually live forever and stuff. The first movie was actually amazing, and then it just went off to the gimmick too much of the actual toys. But if you ever get a chance, definitely watch the first Puppet Master movie. And just don't take it too seriously.
I like that's another one. I know the name. See, when I was like kind of like in my big phase with it, like all my friends, we'd always like go and rent movies that had like really scary covers, and they were always like I think I've talked to Troy about this, about the ones that like really got me. Was like this one called Lunch Meat.
I've never seen that.
Whew, man. It is like just like has this guy on the cover. It's just like, they take people and they like turn them into like hamburgers. And
I think that was in a Simpsons episode.
Yeah, there was that's kind of a theme with mine and Drum's horror movie watching. Actually, is like he's got a list of like rental store movie covers that he remembered from back in the day, and he just like wants to go back and like watch all those now. And that Dolls movie that you mentioned, that was one of them, where it's just one of those images that he says just stayed in his mind, and
Yeah, there was another one that was actually really disappointing. I mean, it's an interesting movie, but I remember it vividly from the rental store. It was called Chopping Mall, but when you watch it, it wasn't what I was expecting at all. It was this weird story about automated robots and security bots being locked in a mall. It was really, really strange and not good.
Oh, looks like you got a thing down here with getting rid of them missiles.
I looked at the chat and I saw somebody in really in all caps say "whip the missiles." So I'm like, oh, maybe I'll try the other.
Yeah, that works super.
That voice, Reese, is that you? This guy, I have no idea what's going on. I'm just like reading lines here and there.
It's pretty goofy.
But yeah, Lunch Meat is the one that always, the cover scared me. What was the other one? 555. I have no idea what it's about, but it had a picture of somebody's head getting cut off on the cover. Remember that one from Hollywood Video? Was Hollywood Video like a nationwide thing? Or did they even have them in Canada?
If we did, we didn't have them here.
I think there was a Hollywood Video when I lived in Delaware, but my main rental place in Delaware was Video Show Place. That was why I really liked that you named our VHS episode. You called it a video showcase.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It reminded me of Video Show Place.
So, it's my belief. Like we had two of these in my hometown. It's my belief that in the '80s, everybody had a video VHS rental place called Movie World. Because we had two Movie Worlds.
Well, your belief is wrong because I've never seen it. I don't think. But maybe I'm wrong.
I think you're wrong. I think everyone had a Movie World.
Well,
it's such an easy name.
We did not have a Movie World in my town. I'm not saying there might not been one nearby. We did not have one in my town.
Maybe you were too young to remember.
Well, no. I mean, yeah, those towns maybe. Like, cause I'm mostly like back. Like,
look at this parallax on this level. It's pretty good parallax in this level.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, back when I was much younger, we didn't really rent much. We didn't rent a lot of movies. We sometimes rented movies, but I think it was mostly just like at Kroger or something, the grocery store. They had a little rental shop, and we very rarely rented games until I moved to Delaware, and that was like, when I got my Super Nintendo there. Then that was like I got the game renting and rent movies some.
The movie world near me, one of the last memories I have like of renting games from it, they had Neo Geo AES you could rent, which is pretty crazy actually.
Like, did one person in your town exist who could actually rent those?
Yeah.
So we used to, we had mostly mom and pop shops, but I remember specifically when the Saturn first came out, they used to make us put a $500 deposit down to rent the system.
$500.
Yeah, sure. I
just
got
in case.
$500 sitting around.
Well, of course, back then, like, Canadian dollars were, like, compared to American dollars were a lot. Like, that would have been, like, what, like $250 American dollars, which is still ridiculous.
It's the exchange rate is actually the same now as it would have been back then.
Really?
What do we have here? Do we have a sewer level? Every game pretty much has a sewer level at some point.
I think it's a rite of passage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We should do a top 10 sewer levels. And
or
and
bottom 10 sewer level.
Yeah. I think that'd go over well.
That is one thing that really hooks me for some reason. Like I'm a little bit claustrophobic, and it's weird, but I'll actually play a game and I'll feel like certain things. Like if it's an underwater stage, I actually get uncomfortable while I'm playing it. So I guess I'm their target market.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've ever heard somebody like sewer levels.
I didn't say I like sewer levels. I just told you that, like, if I'm actually playing a sewer level, I'll
get into it.
Yeah, I get into it.
It's like the sort of discomfort that you like from watching a horror movie.
Yeah. Like I'm playing Blaster Master Zero right now, and I'm doing a lot of the part I'm at is I'm doing a lot of the underwater stuff, and I actually get a little uncomfortable from it. I'm like, whoa, I don't want to go down there.
That's cool, actually.
I mean, arguably, the entire Blaster Master game is a sewer level.
The new one, Blaster Master Zero?
I mean, I'm just saying, like, just in general, like, taking place in, like, the subterranean area, I guess. How many levels are in this? I feel like I'm...
9?
That's
quite a few, actually.
I can't remember. I definitely remember this level, which is probably a bad sign, because it probably means you'll have to run through it a couple times.
I didn't have too much of a trouble.
I'm not 100% sure if you're not pretty close to the end, actually.
Really?
I'll recognize the last level for sure.
Yeah.
You have to have another spy hunter level and another shooting gallery.
Okay.
Because you've only done one of each so far, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I had a lot of trouble on this boss.
Yeah. It's kind of getting me. It's all right, though.
This is the part where someone writes in the comments about how easy he is.
Yeah. Well, it's a sewer.
So you didn't really get to rent any Nintendo games. You didn't have that experience.
I rented a few. It's just that I don't know why we didn't do it that often. I remember renting a Wile E. Coyote game that was terrible.
Was it Death Rally Valley?
I think it was a Tengen game, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, it is.
Is there a Tengen Wile E. Coyote game?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I remember renting Cool Spot. I don't know why.
Was the NES game? Was the NES game pretty bad or something?
Yeah, it was.
Because the Genesis version was considered to be really good.
Yeah, I mean, it was like was it like Othello or something? It's like a grid-based sort of puzzle game or something, I think.
I can't remember. It's not memorable at all to me.
No, yeah, it's not a platformer like the Genesis game. Yeah, that's off the top of my head. That's all I can remember renting. I don't know why. we didn't do rentals. I just don't know. But I got my Super Nintendo pretty late. I got my Super Nintendo in '94, and so like I guess at the time it almost just kind of made more sense. We had like a really convenient rental store where we lived then, and so like I got really into it with the Super Nintendo. It's like I felt like I had a lot of catching up to do, like getting into it, the early part of the back half of the generation.
I think it's due to my age, but like I always look at the Nintendo, the original NES, as a system that was the perfect system for rentals. And the Super Nintendo was the system you really wanted to own the game, so you could sit down. And enjoy them.
I don't know how old you are, but you're probably like a few years older than me. I'm 32, almost.
Yeah, I'm 36. Yeah.
See that I had kind of the opposite experience because I was renting a ton for Super Nintendo.
Man.
And then when I got into N64 and PlayStation, I start off renting quite a bit for those systems, especially N64. I rent a ton for N64. Then, like, in the second half of the N64 generation, I was kind of just like, I'm pretty good at knowing what games I'm going to like.
Yeah.
And, like, I always, like, felt really disappointed when it's like, oh, I rented this game and I beat it, or I mostly beat it, and I don't want to spend like $50 now, $60, like to buy it, but I want it. I want it, but now it doesn't feel like it's worth it anymore. So I kind of stopped renting games.
Yeah.
And then I may have read like one or two more. One of my favorite video store memories is, I guess I don't know why I went to the rental store. I guess I was just bored, and so I hadn't really been going, and they were selling all of their Super Nintendo games to make room for Dreamcast. Because I guess that was the thing that was the oldest at the time that they were still renting, and I got a like awesome condition, complete in box Super Metroid for $6.
Wow.
That's my. I don't know if there were, I probably should have grabbed some more things. I don't remember anything else, but I'd never played it at that time. I was just like, oh, this game's supposed to be good.
That's a pretty good Metroid story. We never had that. Like when our rental store basically started selling off like the Super Nintendo games, there's a weird licensing thing with most of the rental stores here. So like if they had a movie, say for example they had Lethal Weapon 1 there, they probably paid about $400 for each copy of that Lethal Weapon.
Wow.
They had to buy a specific copy.
Interesting.
And the video games were the same thing. So a lot of times they usually sent it back to like they didn't really sell them off. If they did, it was like $40, or they sent it back to like the company that they bought it from.
Yeah, I mean VHS. It was like that here too. VHS. Yep. It was really expensive to buy things that were not sold as like mass production type things like Batman.
So were they
Park.
actually different tapes? Like were they marked differently?
They were the exact same tapes. They just had to buy them from this licensing company. It was all a money grab, right? It's the same as when you'd go to watch like a pay-per-view boxing match or whatever you're into at like a bar. They would say, "This is not licensed for mass production. Please show this pay-per-view this way."
Interesting. Yeah, I did not know that. But I don't know if games had the same rules.
Oh yeah, because one of the games I wanted to get was probably not anything you guys are interested in, but I wanted to get WWF Royal Rumble, and for some reason you just couldn't get it here. So we knew the owner of the rental store, and he said, "Well, I'd be happy to, buy a copy through our retailer and get it to you as soon as possible." And I was like, "Great!" And I think we ended up paying like $230 for it.
That's crazy. You still have it?
Yeah, I still got the original copy I had, and there's no difference from a regular game.
crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think that, like, you know, my local store, like, had all these games if it, like, costs so much to... Like, granted, I guess if they're paying that kind of money for movies all the time anyway. But that's crazy. Yeah, but, you know, my local store, I was able to rent almost any game I wanted to rent from there. The one exception was Tetris Attack. I really wanted to play Tetris Attack, but they didn't have it. And for some reason, Blockbuster did. So I was like the one, like I got Blockbuster membership just for Tetris Attack. It's like, as far as I remember, the one thing I ever read from Blockbuster.
We actually didn't have Blockbuster here until I was 15, so it would have been around 95, 96. So we completely missed that era for really NES and Super Nintendo games at Blockbuster. But that was right around the time the N64 PlayStation came out, and everything changed at that point. Like, Blockbuster would just put their PlayStation games on sale. Like, it would be nothing to walk in one day and see, oh, Star Ocean 2, $8. Great, I'm going to buy that.
I never knew that. I mean, we had one around us, but it was never like good deals like that.
Always, for some reason.
Didn't Blockbuster do, like... maybe much more recently, like they like had like an actual game shop, like not just like selling old rentals. Like I think they like retailed games, you know, like games.
No. Oh, thank God.
I think I remember something about that. Like you used to be able to buy stuff there, but I mean, we haven't had a Blockbuster here now for about 8-9 years, so probably longer. Do you guys have any rental stores where you're to now?
No. I mean, we've got Redbox.
Actually, you know what? There is a rental store here in Cincinnati. I can't think what it's called. It's pretty cool, actually. Why can't I think of what it's called? Will you look it up? Will you look at video rent? It's like it has a it's a video rental store, and then it has a button you press, and one of the racks slides across, like moves and reveals a secret entrance, and there's a bar inside of it. I cannot think of the name of it.
Is it in your town or is it Cincinnati?
It's in Cincinnati. It's close. Why can't I think of it? Kevin Smith was just there, and he was like checking it out and hanging out when he was doing like a show here, like show in Covington. Will you look it up really quick?
You know, there's a Family Video. There is a rental store open in my town. It's called Family Video, and I'm seeing several Family Videos. And
yeah, that's a thing.
Cincinnati.
That's a place.
Yeah, I guess it's still around. I've never been in it though. Maybe I should check it out. Just see what they got. There's something called
Samson there.
Yeah. There's something called ICB Audio and Video. No.
It's.
I mean, Cincinnati's a pretty broad range.
I know, but it's well known. Like a video store with the secret bar inside of it. That's all. Why I have no idea.
Video store with secret bar.
In Cincinnati, Ohio.
Let's see.
I can get this guy. I get this guy.
Oh, here we go. I think this is it. Let's see. What is it called?
Am I gonna have to look it up myself?
Overlook Lodge?
No.
Oh, Video Archive?
That's it.
Okay, yeah, okay.
It has
I got one. There's a video. This is looks like a local news channel. There's a video. I need to...
Come on, I got this guy.
Okay, so he pulls a tape and it opens the bar. That's pretty cool.
Next time you're here, we'll have to go there. I mean, I know you don't drink, but it might just be cool to check it out, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just novelty. Are those actual movies you can rent though?
Yeah, I think so.
That's fun. I need to. It's been a while since I checked my local thrift stores for any new VHS movies. Need to see what they got.
I'm amazed at the actual collector market there is for VHS tapes. Like
Is there going to be a market?
I ran out of bombs.
Because I mean, I'm just like, we've only kind of getting into it recently. Like, I don't want to own like a huge collection, but I just want to own like certain movies. It's like, oh,
that are definitively like VHS movies, like Commando.
Yeah, Coury is very jealous of my Commando that I got for 25 cents.
Yeah, I love Commando. I mean, I've seen that movie probably 50 or 60 times at this point. I saw that movie at the drive-in when I was a kid.
It's an amazing movie. I've not seen it that many times. Probably only seen like twice.
I mean, like when I was a kid, we had
I
HBO, and like that was, we'd watch it all the time on there. It was on constantly.
Yeah, we didn't have HBO here, but we had this like basic cable channel called ASM, which is the Atlantic Satellite Network, and that was the same thing. Like every single night at 8 o'clock, they'd show like Lethal Weapon, Commando. Like it was just constantly those 80s action movies, Die Hard. So that was pretty much what I watched every single night before we had a VCR. And VCRs were really expensive when they first came out. Do you remember?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't remember specifically, but I am aware. Like, we this Night Trap documentary that we've been working on. We needed a like 80s style VCR to use as a prop.
Yeah.
Because like we've both got several VCRs, but they're all like much more 90s style, if not early 2000s in some cases. And so I just was like, well, I don't know how we're going to get one. And so I went to Goodwill, and they had this one that looked really cool. And so I looked up the model number to like check. It was like $20. I'm like, why is this $20 for VCR? And so I looked it up.
It's like not that hard. Do you ever feel like that when you're playing something and you're like, you can't beat somebody and you're like, I don't even get it. It's like it's not that hard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Constantly. And then for some reason I keep getting worse.
Oh yeah.
Try what do you call it when you get worse and worse?
Oh, on the backloggery?
Yeah.
We call it zombie.
Zombie?
Well, it's like you're getting worse and worse because you're just like not giving it the same attention that you gave it the first time, and then you're just kind of coasting through the fight, going through the motions, but you're just not focusing on it anymore.
Yeah, that's a good term.
But I mean, the thing I always think about, like when I'm on like a really hard boss, I'm always like, if they didn't do this one thing, if you just took this one move out of their arsenal, then it would be easy. Just take one thing out. It'd be no problem.
My absolute favorite is when you're fighting a boss and he has it seems like a pretty set pattern, and you finally think you figured it out, and then you go into him and he just completely shifts on you and he goes left and it's like the BA pattern instead, and you're like, where did that come from? Why are you using that attack now? That makes no sense.
Oh yeah, but about the $20 VCR. So I looked it up and it was like this apparently like fairly high-end VCR. They had like some sort of like apparently pretty good audio recording function by Toshiba, and it was I think it was Toshiba, and it looked like it was released in '88 for like I want to say something like $800.
That seems a little high for '88. I remember they were about $1,000 here. Like when I was
well, but like I said, this was I think more of a premium VCR. But yeah.
Did you ever see a VCR that the remote was actually on like a telephone cord.
No.
That's how they used to be.
Or like hardwired or like with a plug-in.
Oh no, it was hardwired with a telephone cord. That's
Yeah, I
how
don't think I've seen one like that. I've got like some old remotes that like, you would like connect to a device, but not quite like that.
It's like,
Yeah.
Heart, I've been looking all over for you. I'm just hanging out in the sewers. As I usually do in every single game.
Looking all over for you.
Just if you're looking for me, I'm in the sewers. If you can't find me. What was some other good VHSs you got? Have you gotten any? You haven't gotten any recently.
No, it's been a little bit. And I keep, every time I'm at my parents' house, I mean to like look through the VHS movies they've got and pick out the ones that I want to put on my little shelf here. I just keep forgetting to do that. But they've got like Indiana Jones and Jurassic Park. I mean, I feel like Jurassic Park is a good VHS movie.
Yeah. I got that the same day as I got my Donkey Kong Country.
I am well aware. In my mailbox
Was this?
Yes. But what else did I grab that was really good grab? I feel like there was somewhere. You picked up a copy of Ghostbusters for me.
Yeah. I gave you the one that I actually had because I got like the kind of a later release of it.
Oh, you also gave me the Terminator 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Which was great.
Man, that Terminator 2 is going to be in theaters pretty soon here again.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's the 3D version or something?
Yeah.
Like I don't know about that because like isn't like I've never seen a 3D-ified 2D movie.
But since it's James Cameron, I trust him.
So, have you been to see many 3D movies in the theater? Because
I've only been maybe one or two.
Oh, absolutely. I prefer 2D. But I mean, if they're filmed in 3D, I will give it more of a chance. I mean, I've seen several that were filmed in 3D that I thought were a very good effect. Like a notable one was Hugo. I think it was Martin Scorsese that did that one. It had a very good 3D effect on it.
The problem I have with most of the 3D films is it's really not essential to the film in any capacity. Like you can tell it's a total tack on, and
right.
It's pretty frustrating. Like very few movies I've seen where it actually adds anything to the movie, and I prefer to watch it in 2D in the oldest theater I can. So,
yep. I mean, I'm the same way. Like I will not, and it's kind of dying anyways. Like
3D.
3D is kind of going away.
I mean, I like 3D. I mean, especially like with the 3DS. Like I play most 3DS games with 3D on full blast. Like I just enjoy the effect. But
that you're the only person.
I don't think it's anything
in the world that does that.
I am not the only person in the world.
I know.
Like the only the Pokemon games have terrible 3D.
Did you know? Did you know that there's over 150 Pokemon? There goes Tries Cold. Every time, so there's this, Mike. There's this VHS video that was about Pokemon, like when Pokemon first came out, and it showed in like Electronics Boutique and stuff like that.
I don't know if you saw that we did on VHS tapes.
No, I don't know if I saw that one.
But there's an older woman, and and she's talking about her son. She's like, "Did you know that there's over 150 Pokemon?"
And now every time I say anything about Pokemon,
I gotta say it like it's a novelty.
did you know?
Is this the last level I'm on, by the way?
No.
No.
Okay, because this is
Definitely
actually
not.
pretty tough here. I'm losing my concentration.
You might be on the second to last.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I'll recognize the last one I see for sure. It's like you're going up a skyscraper.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not like weird and sciencey looking like this. Like it's like just like a normal looking like Streets of Rage.
It's not weird. It's not weird or sciency.
Yeah.
Then it gets weird when you beat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that comparison because that's one of the things that caught me about this game when I started playing it. That very first stage, you can see the cityscape in the background, and it reminds me so much of the opening of Streets of Rage. And I'm a big Streets of Rage fan, so maybe that's why I kind of fell in love with this game right away.
Yeah, I want to say at the time I played this, I had not played any of the Streets of Rage games, and I ended up liking them a lot more. I thought actually it's funny that you mentioned it because for the Backloggery stream tomorrow, we're going to be playing Bare Knuckle 3. But yeah, played co-op Streets of Rage 1 and 2, and I'm not a big brawler guy, but I really enjoyed them.
I'll be interested the way you think of the third one because a lot of people.
Well, remember we're playing Bare Knuckle 3, so I think the main reason people don't like it is because they artificially made the American version harder.
And they like changed all the colors to be all weird. Too.
I don't know anything
but the
about
soundtrack is like not very good. It's like weird.
I've actually never played Streets of Rage 3 ever. I really liked the first game, and I played through the second one, and I was like, I'm good. I don't know if it'll be topped past this. So
I could understand that. Absolutely, I could understand that. I mean, I was kind of the same way. I didn't own Streets of Rage 3 ever. You know, I may have rented it.
Yeah, actually, that's a weird. I don't know if it's a psychological thing. I'm thinking back on it now. Like the Turtles games on the NES, I know that it's not 3 beat-em-up games right in a row, but I've never played Manhattan Project.
You know,
and like even Final Fight, I love Final Fight 1 and 2 on Super Nintendo, but I never ever played the third one. And it's not like I don't have the opportunity. For some reason, I'm just like, that game has a 3 in it. I don't think I want to play that.
Yeah, I mean, Turtles 3 is a fine game, but you know, I think most people think I'm crazy because I think Turtles 4 is okay. I don't think it's like amazing, and I think it's just because like most people think that like Turtles 4 is like definitively the pinnacle of the Turtles games, and man, I just can't let
Wreck
go
that
of Turtles
guy.
2.
My first try.
I did not.
when you said
there she is.
she became that thing.
When
Christy.
when you said you wrecked them, like you were just starting the fight on the stream. I was like,
well,
that must have been pretty good. But yeah, Turtles.
3 is really good. Did that come? I mean, that was 3 and 4 came out really, really close to each other. I think.
Did they really?
I think.
Yeah, I never played Turtles 3
because they had to have been working on 4 when 3 came out because they already had the arcade game at that point, or the arcade game was probably pretty close to being out.
Yeah, I had never played 3 until it was. I mean, it was probably like late 90s by then. I would say I went over to someone I knew in high school. I went over to their house and they had their NES hooked up and played Turtles 3, and just right off the bat, I was super annoyed by the fact that the A plus B attack takes health.
Yeah.
And I've never been able to let that go. And, you know, Turtles 4 does the same thing, and it annoys the crap out of me. Like, it's like why did they think that they had to, like, rebalance that attack? Like, you have to make it risky to use that attack because you're going to be using your health. you're risking you have to be right in the enemy's face to use it. Like, I feel like it's already pretty well balanced. And
I think it's kind of pretty standard beat 'em up fare now. Like, I remember playing, I think it's Streets of Rage 2 on the Game Gear, and they use the same thing, don't they? That once you use the special attack, it takes a little bit of your health.
Well, they all do.
Yes,
I mean,
well,
except the first one doesn't have a.
the first one, yeah, but again in Streets of Rage,
2, it does it.
2, I hardly use those special attacks. But the
Really?
thing is, at least in that game, like, they're like really good. But in Turtles, it's just like that's just one of your basic attacks. It does double damage and that's it. And you're already, risking things by being closer to the enemy. So it's like, it just frustrates me because I feel like all that did was remove a move from my arsenal. Because doing one attack that does double damage is not worth taking health away. It's like, so they removed an ability. I'll never use it in Turtles 3 or Turtles 4. Like, I just can't imagine why you ever would.
There's a challenge out there where someone actually beats the entire game by just using the special move.
And it won't kill you, right? It just...
No, it won't kill you.
Yeah.
It just will take you right down to, like, that minimum health, and then you can just keep doing it.
It's just... It gets me. Like, I just cannot forgive those games for doing that, and that's why Turtles 2 will always be my favorite.
Yeah, I love this scene here with the clouds in the background. Amazing.
A perfect end to a lousy day. Oh, then it's like another shooter level.
That's pretty.
You gotta
that's
you
pretty good
can't like
time
spam that gun, can you? In this, you gotta only shoot when you mean to.
Yeah, it tries to get you to be pretty accurate.
That's good though. I mean, really. It's pretty funny though that they're back to back like this. I mean, it's cool if they do this. Or is there no boss? There's no boss on it though.
No. And this is it now, isn't it? Try.
Do I start here?
Say what?
Is this it now? The last level?
Yeah, yes. That is the final level.
Okay, so it goes kind of crazy with like the different game modes on this last level. It's interesting that you only play like the game starts with the driving level. Probably gives people like a wrong opinion of it right off the bat of what kind of game it is. Starting with a level that doesn't like match the rest of it.
Right, but I feel like in the NES days that probably wasn't much of a concern.
Yeah. Is this level pretty long or is it?
Oh, it's
I
somewhat
could jump on
long.
that.
I mean, I feel like if you'll probably have to you'll probably get pretty good at it over time because you'll have to do it a few times. I don't think they're nice like Ninja Gaiden, and if you like beat the first form of the final boss, that like it's gone. I don't think they do that. Oh yeah, you're gonna have to figure out how to deal with those red guys that jump up from the pits.
Okay.
You're kind of just charging through a lot here.
I have that problem. I think that it's something I don't think about enough in old games. Is I think a lot of people are just used to kind of charging through stuff these days, and I definitely fall into that trap sometimes. Where you got to be more conscious and like inch through a lot of times with old games, and people don't think about that.
Absolutely, especially with NES era.
Yeah, you have to be very deliberate with your moves.
But then there are definitely times where slowing down will get you in trouble, and you gotta just like figure out how to get rid of a certain enemy like as soon as it's on screen before it starts causing trouble.
Right.
Like it's looking to me like those jesters might be that way.
Right.
Like, you're just kind of running forward and then gain them, and you can do that before they throw any of the balls.
Yeah, it's a little tough. So I mean, okay, so the things that jump out of the pit. I mean, how do I plan for that? It's okay though. I got it. I'm gonna figure it out. I made it this far.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think you can do this.
You're at the point where there's no turning back. That's the interesting thing about NES games. I remember the first time I beat Batman.
Yes.
Sunset Batman. I got to the Joker in probably like an hour, and then I spent the next 7 hours, and I couldn't beat him for some reason. And by the end of it, it was like 6 in the morning, and I couldn't
I know
play
what you
anymore.
mean.
I fell asleep.
Yeah, man, that's what that's another game that I beat not that long ago.
Was the Joker that hard for you to try?
No, he's not even that hard. It was just one exactly what we talked about earlier. It's just you get stupid.
He is hard because like the way that I don't understand how you could beat him without doing something completely ridiculous, which is you have to put your face, you like have to be in your face right in front of his gun. Because like if you stand right in front of his gun, like that's actually inside the safe area.
Yeah.
And if you're like too far away, then you're not. And I feel like that surely can't be how you're supposed to beat him. But I don't know what you do, how else you do it otherwise, because he takes so many hits. Like there's no way you could be safe that long. And he's not like as patternized as you would hope he would be.
Yeah, he's
he can mix it up a little bit.
Another example of what we talked about earlier. Just when you think that he's gonna do one thing, he does something else, and it's very frustrating.
Right. And so like you really almost kind of have to just get lucky, and I mean just hope the battle doesn't last too long.
Yeah. Now, and I've seen some people say, "Oh, he's a breeze," and they use the batarang, but like I couldn't get that to work. I had to do the punching.
Yeah, I tried too. The nice thing is that the boss that comes before him stays dead.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But this doesn't do that. Or is there more than one boss? One last boss?
Yeah.
I think there's 2 bosses, but I could be wrong, but I don't think that it keeps the first form dead. Man, you're just running through that second screen.
Yeah. I gotta figure out how to do these things that jump out of the pit.
I think you
I'm
just
trying
like
to
jump over the things they throw. Just like wait for them to cross and just jump.
Man.
Or maybe jump forward.
I can't stand in one place because the platform crumbles underneath me.
I want to say you don't necessarily need to kill them. I want to say that if you just get it down right, you can just like kind of just jump under them and avoid everything. I can't. I mean, don't take my word for it. It's been a little while, but I definitely remember.
You were gonna do a video on this game. You have a whole script just sitting there on this game.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was. I forgot about that. I was during a phase where I was just trying to crank out like a bunch of scripts. Just get as many scripts written as possible and just like have a bunch of videos like rage shoot anytime.
Right. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
I don't know. I don't know.
Kind of impossible now, but
the thing is, like, I feel like I'm most excited about it, like, at that time when I'm writing it. So if I just, like, have it sitting for a long time, I feel like I won't be excited about it anymore.
Yeah. It's a delicate balance with the creative process. I found that if you're trying to keep on a schedule, like I'm going to make something for every Sunday, it's hard to be creative. And I like doing things in lumps. Like, I'll get really excited and then write like 20 scripts, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. But it's exactly like you said. When you get around to editing the video, you're like, oh, I don't know. I don't feel right about this. So
yeah,
it's also to do everything all at once, and then you're just sitting on the videos, and you don't want to do that either. So it's tough.
all right, figuring it out. Ah, there we go. I thought maybe that was going to be it. Oh, well.
Oh yeah, you got it. You got it.
It doesn't even do like the screen split thing. So Mike, you've been doing like these videos lately. I don't know if you're still doing them, where you kind of like propose questions to the community, the YouTube community.
Yeah.
You know, like asking about like responses of like what is your like what are your top 5 like licensed games or something you did or something like that.
Well, yeah, I kind of stole that from one of the first people I was subscribed to, and I was kind of really trying to guilt him back into making videos on YouTube. That was the idea behind it, and didn't really work. So I haven't done it in the last little while, but I still kind of am, because I do another thing of videos called Video Game Nostalgia, where basically I just moved it over to that and tried to make it look a little bit more professional than just like a community response video, but it's the same thing. I basically come up with a topic, and then I'll talk about 3 games and say, hey, let me know if you think there's some other games that you want to see, or, do a response. And yeah, it's fun. I like doing stuff like that. But the weird thing about YouTube too is sometimes people don't like community things. They almost like take it as an affront when you're trying to do something with community involved or helping people. It's weird. And it's only a small minority, so you shouldn't let it bother you. But I do find it strange. They're like, why did shout out videos? For some reason, people hate shout out videos, and I find that very strange. I don't know if it's sour grapes. They're jealous because someone else didn't get shouted out, or I don't know. I can't explain it to you.
Interesting. Like, I mean, I watch them when they pop up. I don't see there's anything wrong with them. I think it just really depends on if they fit in the style of like a channel's content, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, we don't do them because like we don't. I mean, I guess in a way, like our streams are kind of that in a way. I mean, we'll bring up people in our episodes, but since we don't really like all of our stuff are more produced, I guess.
Yeah.
But I have no problem with that stuff. It's interesting that people get crazy about it.
Yeah, it's the weirdest things. Some people will write you and say like it's really cool, like that you're doing stuff like that, and other people are like, oh, when I was doing the top 3 Tuesday stuff, I actually had people tell me directly like, please don't mention those people in the video. Like I don't want to see that part. I was like, what a weird to say. Don't mention the people who made video responses. And I was like, odd.
It's your style of video,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a problem too. It's like when people, oh wow, you have to go all the way back here every time you die.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna get real good at this part, I guess. Huh? You're right.
You look like you got it.
No, that wasn't the last boss though. You said there's somebody after that.
Yeah, but I mean, you looked like you got the level section.
You kind of. I think that I'll have it down pretty good by the time.
Am I remembering right that the final form is like stationary?
I can't remember. It's been like 4 years. I don't think he's stationary, but like he almost like lands on top of you, or.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm starting to remember a little more. I remember the setting. I remember like how big he was, but I don't remember what he did.
Yeah.
You just gotta stand there until they jump up and you can jump over the stuff. It's not that hard.
No.
It's gonna keep on telling myself that. But yeah, I mean, you were like, what are some of the questions you did for those videos?
Like I put out a video last night, which is the same thing again, like I said, and it was bad NES movie games that were actually great on the Sega Genesis. So
right.
I get to talk about some cool Sega Genesis games I like Rambo 3 and Ghostbusters and Dick Tracy, which I think are all great games and had. I don't know if Dick Tracy and Rambo were terrible. I don't like Ghostbusters on the NES, that's for sure. But
But the Genesis game is great, and I watched that earlier today, and like Rambo 3 is a great game. I really like the Master System version of Rambo First Blood Part 2, even though it's like everywhere else but the US, it's something else.
Yeah.
But I think it's a great game. Like I had a friend who was like really really into it, and I own it. I think it's a great game. I think it's better than Commando for sure.
Yeah, it is a great game. It's just that's one of those games that I'm not good at. Like when it comes to that style of game, I've never been very good at it. That's just a personal thing with me. Like Commando, even like Gunsmoke. Gunsmoke, like I should be able to beat it. I've played it enough, and no, it's not happening.
I really want to beat Shock Troopers.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've played Shock Troopers.
It's a Neo Geo game. It's really
Pretty good.
It's a really good overhead running gun. Maybe one of the best overhead running guns. Okay, I figured that out. I know how to do that now. I kind of run through these, and I kill all these guys at the same time. Oh, that's my one chance at the last guy. You have to watch the cutscene. No, you can skip it. Okay, good. The problem is that this guy can shoot all the way across the screen with his gun. I'm figuring it out.
I'm trying to remember how you do this.
I think I can do it. I got him halfway dead.
You're so much more positive than I am. Like I'd be so angry right now.
That's Try rubbing off on me. Like he's.
I'm not good at NES games. I'm just. I'm not good at AES games or.
He's good at trying
general.
and trying again.
I'm good at just banging my head against the wall until it falls. I mean, I want to say it definitely took me a lot longer to beat this than it's taking you. So.
Well, I haven't.
You know what you should stream sometime that you grabbed is Goemon 2.
Yeah. You can help me through it if I need to, right?
Maybe. I mean,
I gotta beat the first one. I'm still like on that.
I mean, it's probably been 4 or 5 years ago that I played it, but I did beat it in one stream, but that was back in the days when we were doing the 5-hour backloggery streams.
That's a long stream when you think about it now, isn't it?
I mean, that was my norm, so I didn't really think about it.
Ah. It's like the timing window for that jump is so small.
I'll never forget like the first time I saw a video on YouTube that was like 5 hours long, and it wasn't a stream. I guess it was like recorded gameplay, and the guy just played for 5 straight hours. Up, and I was like, sure, I'll spend most of a Saturday watching your video.
That's a long video. Like,
yeah.
I guarantee.
Sometimes it gets out of hand though. Like I done. Whenever you do collaborations, sometimes unless you're very specific, those videos can get right out of hand because you don't want to cut people out. You don't want to cut out what they say. And then you're looking at your video and you're like, it's an hour and 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
This is not going to work.
I don't know though. I mean, people are kind of getting into long videos these days. I think, like for our videos, like our longer videos do better, which I never would have predicted. But
I just want to see what the other form looks like.
You were so close. You were so close.
I know. You had one hit left. I just want to see what the other form looks like. See what I'm up against. Because it's going to be one of those things where I got to master that form to last long enough.
Yeah. Unless he's dead, but I mean, he could. I don't remember.
Just hide between his legs. Duck and hide between his legs and hope for the best.
All right. Well, I'll remember that.
That's good life advice, too.
Oh, come. What? Oh.
What?
Hey.
What?
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Huh?
His hits like actually don't do that much damage, really.
No, he's definitely not the Joker.
You did a clean jump over him.
It's the last life, though. All right. Back here. But I'm getting better.
Yeah.
I'm going to beat it tonight. I'm going to do it.
Go do it.
That's the great thing about NES games with unlimited continues.
Yeah.
Except for the games that put caveats in there, like Ninja Gaiden, where they don't give you your life back on the final boss between each form if you don't beat it the first time.
Right.
I mean, any other game you can just play over and over and over again until you figure it out. And as long as you're willing to leave your NES on for a week, yeah, you can beat it pretty much.
You know what's interesting to me is that like there seems to be so few like Genesis games that have infinite continues.
Because it's more of an arcade feel to it.
Yes, but it's just strange because you would think that, you know, trends on Nintendo consoles would carry over, but they don't seem to. It's just, I don't know, it's just strange to me. I honestly, off the top of my knowledge of the Genesis library is not incredible, but I can't think of any Genesis game I've played that has infinite continues.
That's a good question. Yeah, like Castlevania Bloodlines, I remember
Give me that
when
meat.
I first played through that.
I think Gunstar Heroes, I think, has infinite continues. I think. I'm pretty sure it does.
I think a lot of early Genesis games also had stage select codes, so that was kind of the trade-off.
Yeah.
With debug codes. Like all the TurboGrafx 16 games, most of the early ones there, they all have
Here we go. Here we go.
I have no chance unless they refill my life.
Here we go. But this is a fresh continue, right?
Is it really?
I think so.
Even if I die, I start here.
I'm hoping
Come and get
so.
some.
There you go. Now there you go.
Oh, I guess I have to stand up, huh? Do I get to start right at him? No! I knew it.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's see if they'll let
Try, you got me
continue
excited
out.
there, and then this is what happens. It's okay. Oh, you mean you want to see if I play through this part, if I get to start there again?
Yeah. See, right?
I'll take that if that's the case. Please, please, please. Nope.
Oh, no. Well, don't get discouraged. I mean, I did this, so, I mean...
This is just so positive. It's refreshing.
So what part of him do you actually have to hit, though?
I can't remember.
But you hide between the legs.
Well, that only gives, like, one possible option where you gotta hit him.
Yeah, and I can't say that's the pattern to beat him, or if that's kind of like spamming, like how you beat Zelda 2 just by, you know, pressing the B button over and over again, not looking. So I think it's a spam way to beat him. Get between his legs, but I can't remember it. 4 years.
Let me look up some tips for the first form, because that's your real stumbling block right now. Is you gotta get through that and have enough health to do the second.
Exactly.
Form. Let me look up some hot tips
From the Game Masters at Game Players Magazine, maybe?
Yes, that's exactly where this is coming from. It is not.
You gotta have enough items, though, this first time. You gotta have, like, enough gun, bullets, and everything.
Gun bullets.
Yeah. It reminds me of something, you know, like my son said yesterday. I don't know why it has nothing to do with, like, guns or bullets or anything like that. What did he say? Right before... he's starting to, like, put together, like, full sentences now. and he was having some yogurt, like a yogurt drink, and he's like, "I am done with my yogurt drink. It is gone. It is in my mouth."
I am done with my yogurt drink.
Yeah, it is gone. It is in my mouth.
That's pretty good.
Just coming out of his mouth. I'm like, I had to laugh like really hard. It's just it is in my mouth part that like is what really made me laugh.
I mean, I don't know. I kind of like yogurt drink.
Give me that meat. All right. So what do I want to use on him?
Okay, I've got this. Let me read for you here. Now you have to fight a copy of yourself.
Yeah.
Luckily for you, he isn't that smart. Here
Well,
you
that's
must
what I
use
like.
your ducking abilities again. When the fight begins, he will jump towards you. Now, if you stand close to him, he will use his whip, but you have to make him use his gun. So stay a bit out of his way and wait until he starts shooting, then duck and crawl towards him and give him a beating. Keep on doing this until he's dead. That's
Oh,
what it
interesting.
says.
You can crawl.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I didn't know you could do that.
I don't know if I knew you could do that either. It's interesting. That's a game changer.
It is.
Keep on doing this until he's dead.
Until he is death. I gotta make it back to him though. I feel good about it. What does it say about the last guy? Does it say get between his legs?
Says the weak spot for this boss is his head. To reach his head, you'll have to get between his legs. What? So wait until he jumps and stand on the spot where he's about to land. Then he fires some lasers and puts his head down to hurt you. Duck and start hitting him with your whip. After a few hits, he will jump away. Now wait until he lands again and stay on the spot where he's about to land. Then beat him again and repeat that until you've killed him.
Until he is death.
Until he's dead.
I can't believe I didn't know about the crawl. That like changes everything, I feel like. What?
It's not really a crawl. It's like
It's like a
Nathan Drake like, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like this is going to open up a whole new world in this game for me now. The crawl.
I can duck underneath his bullets.
I'm trying to remember playing this, and I think I remember every time I got hit like 3 or 4 times. I would almost say to myself, I'm not going to beat that last boss. Like we're talking like you need to almost have pretty close to perfect run on that first boss before you go to the second boss.
Really?
That's how I found it, but I might have just been bad on the second boss.
Do I just gotta jump straight up? I'm jumping too early is my problem.
You ever watch somebody play a game and question yourself, how did I beat this? That's how I feel right now.
Yeah, I would be like, I'm surprised you're not like, get it together. It's not that hard.
No, it is, but I don't remember how. This seems harder than I remember.
I remember getting pretty far, like really quickly in the game. Then, like the last stage, I definitely remember taking some time.
Yeah, I mean, I can't stop now, especially with no like passwords or anything.
Yeah.
And I am playing on the real cartridge. I'm not playing on an EverDrive or anything. I'm doing it legit. That's what I like. But I want to finish it. I like it when we finish games on our streams.
Yeah, you get like this high off of beating games on stream.
Yeah.
Well, then it's in the history books. It's there forever. like if you just beat it by yourself when you're in your house, like what do? You walk out and tell your wife, "I beat it," and she's like, "Great, what's for supper?" But if you beat it on a stream, everybody's like, "Hey, good job." You're like, "Yes."
I get it. If you're standing, he'll start to. I get it. I got him. I get it now.
Okay.
I get it. If you're standing up, he'll shoot high, and you can crawl underneath his.
So he was shooting low too before?
How do I? Yeah. How do I hit his head?
Do you have to like move left and right a little bit?
Yeah, I totally understand it though now. I think I can beat him without barely getting hit.
Oh, you mean the first floor?
Yes.
Yeah.
I totally understand it now.
Someone was talking about N64 games a bit higher up, and it made me think that too many games. I never looked into what it was, but there was someone had $1,000 double height N64 cartridge with no label on it.
Yeah.
It was kind of like the Wide Boy, where it's like this double height cartridge, but it was not a Wide Boy. I don't know what it was. Obviously just some development hardware, but I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I have no idea what it was either. And it doesn't, like, how they expect to sell it if they didn't even say what it is?
Well, probably someone who's going to spend $1,000 on something probably knows what it is.
That is a good sales tactic, though. You could have your $1,000, or you could have what's in the mystery card.
I should have asked what it was,
Look at that
though.
meat.
I'm sure someone in the chat probably knows what it is. So your strategy is actually way better than what this guide was talking about.
Okay, I need to know how I hit this guy. I got to stand in between his legs. Let's do it.
You got, when the head comes down, you can hit it, but I feel like you got to like move left and right to like avoid it.
Yep.
It looks like he goes left first.
Can I
then
stand in
right.
between his legs? Oh wait. Okay. I totally get it now. I get it. My thumb's starting to get that sharp D-pad feel.
Like, isn't that so weird that like certain games you press the D-pad harder than others?
Yeah.
Like you don't need
on.
to, but you just do. Castlevania is what does it to me.
Yeah.
You know, that up and B action.
I get this now. I get it. It's happening. It's happening tonight. Give me that meat. You just gotta have enough bullets is the thing.
Gun bullets.
Yeah.
I feel like Gun Bullet was like some parody, like something.
It was an episode of Police Squad or something.
Oh, you got hit.
I know I did. It's okay though.
My faith in you is shattered. You're going to have to earn it back.
Oh. I got hit 3 times. And I'm out of bullets. It's okay. I got him.
But you don't
don't need it.
You get this. You don't need this. You don't need the extra health. You got. Oh, look at that. That was pretty good. Aside from getting hit when he came back up, but
There you go.
that leg going
okay.
in for the jump is tough.
Right. That's the hardest part, I think. All right. Back here. It's okay.
What you got? You got it.
Yeah, I mean, I can reliably make it to him every time now. I mean, at least I hope. Mike, you have a pretty sizable. I mean, you collected it and stuff for TurboGrafx too. I remember seeing a lot of TurboGrafx stuff, and you got in on that like pretty earlier. I'm pretty sure before it got super crazy.
Yeah, I got halfway, and then
Oh wow.
yeah, but there's only I think 92 North American released turbo chip games.
Really?
So yeah, not including the CD stuff, like just including
Right. The Hue cards.
U cards. There's only like 92 games. So
That's so interesting.
yeah.
What are some of the really expensive ones you have? Do you have like Bonk 3 or any CD games that are really expensive?
No, I didn't really have many of the expensive games for the TurboGrafx 16. I guess like that's one that I didn't get into. So I didn't have anything like Soldier Blade or well, of course, Magical Chase, and Bonk 3 got really expensive. What else got really expensive? Like some of the more expensive games I had were lower end. Like I had Kadash, Raiden. They're like $80 to $100 games. That's mainly what I have with the TurboGrafx. I didn't get any of the big expensive stuff like Samurai Ghost or Jackie Chan was actually really expensive for that too. Yeah, I remember at one point. I don't know if it still is.
Yeah, I just got at Too Many Games the NES Jackie Chan, which I think looks so much better than the Turbo one. Like the graphical style of the NES one is just much more appealing, I think.
I don't know. I really like the TurboGrafx 16 one as well, but I've really only played the NES one. I just have looked at haven't got a chance to play Jackie Chan on the Turbo yet, so I don't know what it plays like. I do like the art style though.
I've only had my PC Engine for a pretty short period of time, so like I kind of set some ground rules for how what I'm doing, which basically is for the most part I'm getting Japanese versions because they're cheaper, unless the American version is cheaper, like Ninja Spirit, for example. Rare case of the American version being cheaper. And also there's the add bonus to that is that the PC Engine versions just look cooler. Like the cards look cooler. They've got much better artwork. And the other side of that is I'm going Hue card only. I'm not buying complete TurboGrafx games. Honestly, I think they kind of look cooler when it's just the card because now I can display them on my shelf. I don't know if you saw that video that we did that was the display shelves for Game Boy games.
Yes. Yeah.
I got a similar shelf for my Hue cards, so now I have them all facing front forward. I have them in the little clear sleeves that you can buy, and I just think it looks so much nicer than in the cases because I feel like the cases just don't have as good of artwork, especially when you're looking at the Japanese ones that have the really nice artwork on them. I don't know. I feel like Hue cards are like the coolest looking like game media. Like they just look neat.
Yeah, I really like them too. I went for all jewel cases. That's what I wanted. And there was a couple games where you just don't have any choice because unfortunately later on in the system's life they just gave up on the jewel cases and they sold.
Really?
Yeah, they sold the games card only. And when people say complete TurboGrafx 16, I always find it really interesting because they always say as long as you have the manual, the jewel case, and the turbo card and the protector, that's complete. But it actually also came in a cardboard box too.
Oh,
with like styrofoam in it.
Yeah. So like I've had a couple TurboGrafx 16 games. Like I have Splatterhouse that's actually complete. So I have the jewel case and the cardboard box, everything. So I mean,
did not know that.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting later on in the system. Like when it got to around the period of Airzonk, that's when they basically gave up on the jewel cases. So you'd buy the cardboard box that was familiar, and then there'd be like this plastic sleeve inside that just had the manual and the turbo chip in there. Yeah.
Interesting. So Coury, what would you do if you won any of those games? Because I know you've got complete, or we say, you have to have the jewel.
It's that second jump that gets me. when he jumps and then jumps back again. That's the thing
I
that
think-
gets me.
Does he always do 2 jumps?
Maybe I got to completely run out from underneath him during that time and wait for him to jump again.
I think, yeah, don't try to stay under him, I think, because it's looking to me like he's always jumping twice.
Yeah.
If he always jumps twice, then there's no reason for you to be under him for the second jump.
Right. Okay. Working out strategies.
Yeah. Making progress all the time.
So how much is the Japanese copy of Magical Chase up to now?
I have no idea. I saw a case and manual only for like $600 or something like that. Too many games. No actual even game in it.
Was that the one that Blade Blur was saying was pointing to?
I don't know.
Just for fun, I checked the North American eBay price, well, Canadian price there the other day, and it's at $5,000 Canadian right now, Magical Chase. So, like, that's pretty much the end of anybody.
I mean, it's a
trying
cool
to...
game, but
Yeah. It's fine. It's...
give me that meat. There we go.
I don't know if it's $5,000 fine, though.
No.
I mean, Little Samson is awesome, but I don't know if it's, $1,400 fine.
Yeah.
Man.
You're getting a little too premature on your decks.
Well, I think he sometimes is going to use his sword. It's okay. I don't need it.
It's okay. You don't need it.
Do I have to use my sword on this guy?
I don't know. Probably not, but it seems advisable.
So I can run out from there and then jump over him again. Okay. I think I got it. It's just you got to be so precise in that ducking around in between his legs there. You got to be so precise. And I think that like it just becomes hard because now I'm starting to get like that worn down thumb thing.
Like, I'm guilty, like, when I get stuck like this, I'll actually go watch somebody else's...
I totally.
Oh, yeah. I'm guilty of doing that, too.
I'm not
I don't
about
like
that.
to do it. I don't like it, but, years ago, I think I would have been pretty staunchly against it, but,
Come on.
whatever. I'm old now, so...
I can do that. It's just like sometimes that last guy that jumps up appears and sometimes he doesn't. That's the thing that's getting me.
By the time that you beat this, you'll be such a well-oiled machine in this level, it won't even be funny.
Yeah.
You know what's so crazy to me? I just it's so weird. The Ninja Gaiden 3, I've got the Japanese version of it, and which is a lot easier than the American version, but still really hard. And the first time I played through that, it was really hard. It was like just as hard as the other Ninja Gaiden games, but like in a lot of ways more fair. Like the enemy placement is a lot more precise. But it still took a lot of work to get through it. And then there have been like a couple of occasions where I've played through it again. I think maybe once for a stream and once to capture footage. And like I made it through without game overing. I made it to the last level without game over. Like as much work as it was for me to get through that game.
Maybe you should try the US version then.
It'd be interesting, but that's pretty expensive, I think.
I didn't think so. I thought that Ninja Gaiden 3 Ancient Ship of Doom was one of those weird ones that whatever rules of NES inflation there are, it didn't affect that game. It pretty much remained at its original price.
But it's like, I'm pretty sure it's like $100, right?
If it went up, it's news to me. Like last time I checked, about a year ago, it was still around $50, which is where it was when I bought it around 4 years ago here.
Well, maybe at that time that sounded like a lot of money for an NES game to me, but once you start clearing out all the games you want in the mid range, it's like, yeah, I'll spend $70 on an NES game.
Come on.
No, you got it.
I certainly didn't have it that time. I didn't even hit him once. I'm terrified of getting him down to like one hit left and dying.
Well, don't be terrified of that, because that's when that's when it'll definitely happen. Choke.
Well, I don't want to keep you guys too late. Anyways.
Well, I think you're obligated to beat it now. I mean,
Well,
we're all in this together.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna beat it. Come too far. Okay, see, that's what I need. I need that meat.
That last meat. That ceiling meat.
Yeah.
You're getting a little squirrely toward the end there.
I am. I think I can use the bombs on him and kill him faster.
What would you take less damage? All right. Good. Oh, you just ran to the leg.
I know, it's hard. It's like such a tight spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is hard. If you're watching too, you have to almost anticipate which way he's going to move, jump, and then move over to that side of the legs to skip getting hit there.
Is he always going to jump to the side of the screen that he has more space on? I haven't really been paying attention.
I don't know, but it seems I'm not following on that, but that seems to be, Coury, where you're missing is where you're getting hit the most is when he jumps off of you between the legs.
Yeah, because that the one leg will go inwards quite a bit.
Right.
So if you can predict which way he's going to jump, I forget, is the straight leg the direction that he's jumping in? The leg that moves in.
I don't know. Watch next time we get to him. Watch.
Yeah.
There's definitely a third movement there, or not movement.
It's that gets me. I hate that too. You gotta be like perfectly on that thing. It's not even hard.
No.
Yeah,
I'm just like the whole in between the legs thing wouldn't matter if. Come on.
You got greedy there. You shouldn't have let that guy live.
Yeah. But it wouldn't be so bad if I didn't have to duck in between his legs.
Yeah.
Or do you have to duck? Do you have to duck?
I don't know. Maybe not.
Because that would make everything so much easier. I'm going to try using bombs on this guy, see if it helps. If it goes faster.
I mean, this guide is making it sound like you need to duck, but...
Yeah, I definitely need to use
Not
the gun.
bad. Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah, I gotta be duck. I think the hardest part is anticipating where he's gonna land.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that can be hard too. I just, how can you be safe when he jumps back up? That's the trickiest part, I think.
So when he jumps, I'm just asking, are you still moving and trying to figure out? Have you ever tried just ducking and seeing if he actually just lands on top of you? Maybe you decide where he lands.
That's a good idea.
Also, I think, are you, when he ducks or when he jumps back up, are you like moving too quickly? Like maybe if you're like in the center under him ducked, when he jumps up the first time, maybe he won't hit you if you just don't move, if you just stay ducked there. That leg might not hit you.
All right, I'll try it. You know what else though that gets me is like the music on this level sucks. It's awful music.
I can't, unfortunately, I can't hear it and I don't remember it.
Well, you're not missing much.
All right, that was good. It was good.
Like you're talking just like stay right here. Yo.
Yep.
Oof. It's that I gotta watch out for that. Oh, see, I got to move back to the middle a little bit every time.
That leg hit. There was only one time in that whole fight where the leg didn't hit you when he was jumping up.
Right.
And I don't know if you figured out how to improve that, but that's the only issue. That's the only issue, is that leg.
I think I can do it. I know that I can do it.
Of course, you're going to do it. It's a matter of when.
Got that beating heart thing. You know, that adrenaline's pumping.
That's a good run.
All right. Ugh. Come on. Oh, I got him. I have him.
You got it, because what you were doing that worked really well is you were creeping back to the center after hitting him on the left side. Creep back to the center, and that avoided the leg in at least half of the cases, which is a whole lot better than none of the cases.
Right.
Yeah, you got it.
If I can make it back to it, that's all right, though. It is what it is. My hands are getting a little sweaty.
You got it.
We're in this together, though. We're gonna
Yeah.
beat this game together tonight.
And we can all three wear the badge of honor, having hit
That we helped
ourselves.
each other through it. We're really helping each other through it.
Well, I don't know. You didn't help me through it.
I know. Well, I mean, everyone's helping me through it.
Michael helped me buy it.
I actually, bought it before
I'll
I saw
go-
the video.
Oh, okay. So you've had it for longer than me. Interesting.
Yeah.
That is really interesting because you weren't that into NES at the time.
When I rebought an NES, that was when I still was in New York. But this is one of the games that I looked at. I was like, I'm gonna buy that.
It's got such a terrible box. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, the box art is super bad.
I mean, it's terrible, but it's like a good kind of terrible.
Yeah, it says nothing about the game at all. Really.
I mean, it's just. I mean, I definitely have a soft spot for how, for just bad art that doesn't represent the game from that era.
The ducking thing really did change things for me.
It was a turning point in your life.
Yeah. All right, let's do this. Come on.
Yeah, you half health is fine for this. That's all you need.
Oof.
I mean, creep toward the center, but it could still go either way. Just
Yeah.
be ready for that.
Oh, it's okay. I'm getting him down there, though. I'm getting him down there.
You did that going in with half health. I mean, that's
impressive.
You didn't even get the meat last time,
I tried to.
but you didn't. So
Oh,
I
I'm
mean,
always after that. Always out for it.
that ceiling meat. What was it? Who
Jeremy
said-
Parrish calls
Yeah,
it
the
brickskit.
brickskit.
It's a great name for it. Come on. I'm gonna have to go through the level. I'm
You
getting.
don't have to go through the whole game.
I'm getting premature. Is what I'm doing on that jump.
I'm going to be honest with you. There's been times where I legitimately thought I was going to have a heart attack trying to beat a game. It's just so even keeled with it. I beat Nightmare on Elm Street on the NES, which does not have unlimited continues. And I've been playing it for about 2 weeks straight at the time. And when that was done, it was honestly, I really did think I was going to have a heart attack. My wife wasn't there; she was away at law school. I was like, no one's going to even be able to call 911. Playing the next game.
But that's one of those
would
things you
be-
decided. You played it repeatedly until you were able to do it.
That,
we had
that would
somebody-
be like
We had somebody comment on a video because Try has beat Battletoads legitimately. And someone commented on the video and said, wait, you beat Battletoads? How did you do that? And he's like, well, I just played it repeatedly until I beat it. That's just what we used to do in the days before save states.
Well, no, I mean, the funny thing was he actually said in his original comment, he said, did you just play again after you got game over? It got a little further every time? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I might not got a little further every time, but
But that was a long time coming. I mean, you played it for a long time, didn't you?
that was the first game I ever streamed.
Really?
That was what, 8 or 9 years ago at this point?
That's crazy to think about.
But that would be a very interesting way to find a dead body, is someone laying on the ground with
The worst part is the ending screen actually doesn't stay there. It just goes back to the regular title screen.
Oh.
So I mean, be like, I don't even know if he beat it, but I'm gonna say he didn't.
Oh!
Oh.
I was like, it's gonna happen this time. It's like,
Well, you had to have one death with where you had one piece of
yeah,
left.
it's a rite of
It had to
passage.
happen. It had to happen once.
My heart is beating out of my chest right now after that. That's okay.
So-
that needs to happen, I think, to make you more confident.
Yeah. So the first time I ever was on YouTube and I saw a video for someone said, just beat Battletoads. And I went into it expecting exactly that, like a run through Battletoads. And it was the saddest thing I ever watched because it was every 3 seconds they were save stating it and then going back.
Oh.
And it was like the cheapest thing ever. Oh. Like they'd be taking on the Dark Queen and they'd get hit and they'd be like, nope, going back to the save state where I hit her last time. I was like, why would you even share that?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Come on. I gotta do it. I gotta not get hit at least one time here. I was like trying to maneuver myself and couldn't do it. Ugh.
Oh.
Man, I'm so close. It's all right though.
This is it. This is the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, now I'm starting to say like it's like not really even that hard. It's just a matter
No.
of It would have been awesome if I had like made it to it and like did it on my first try though. After you guys
Would
talked
it
about
have
it.
been? Would it have been?
I think I'd be disappointed if I did that. Ran through a game and just burned through the boss. Like, that's kind of defeats the purpose if the boss is nothing.
Yeah.
I think I watched a video the other day about that, like What Culture video, and they did the most disappointing end bosses.
What was on there?
One was like Mirror's Edge, where apparently you just jump at the helicopter and you kick the person out, and that's it. Game over.
I can see that.
Not even a difficult jump.
All right. I'm thinking about where he's jumping.
Don't think about it too hard. Just feel.
Yeah.
Oh, you shouldn't have stayed under him. That's okay. So you still get this. Yeah, yeah.
It's okay. I know what I'm doing. I got it. He jumps to the outside every time.
Yeah!
All right.
Nothing has changed.
Yeah. Please don't tell me there's like another one. And you're like, oh yeah, there's another boss after this. Whew.
Get ready for a significantly long ending sequence.
Is it really long? We get to see the. I don't know what happened in the entire game. I mean,
And you've been following it.
yeah, no. I mean, I've kind of been reading lines here and there. Yeah, Frank Strasser says it right. Says I love it when he beats games on stream. If you know, I love to finish games like during the stream. It doesn't happen super often, but it's
you
nice
need
when
to
it
do,
does.
You need to do what you've done Mega Man up through 4 on stream, right?
Right.
Now, of course, you've beaten them all before, but
Yeah.
you wanna do them on stream.
But I didn't beat them all on NES.
That's right. You beat a lot of them on the collection.
Yeah, on the Anniversary Collection.
Yeah. So you're gonna...
like 1 through 6 are gonna be streamable easily, but I don't think like 7 and 8.
Oh no, 7. I mean, especially because of the last boss. Like the last boss in 7 is obnoxious.
Yeah. I've heard that it's really, really tough.
Yeah,
I was sending the game audio through. Maybe it wasn't loud enough. Sorry about that. Super J man. I have audio piping through, but maybe I just didn't turn it up enough.
You know, I always find that like the audio when I hear it from the mixer is like nowhere near as high when I listen to the stream archive as I think it is when I'm playing.
Yeah. Oh, I did it.
Yeah.
Oh man, it only took half an hour longer. I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, 2.5 hours to beat a NES game is, especially one that's not like a cakewalk. That's not bad at all.
Yeah. Mud Chicken's asking if we stream using our RTMP server, but we don't. We just we use Skype and then we stream directly to YouTube. We did mess around with Restream a little bit, but that was kind of only because of a workaround.
Yeah, it was kind of and then it wasn't working so well, and now YouTube seems to be working pretty decently for me now. So it's not. Every time that you mention Skype, and I don't see anyone saying it yet, but every time you mention Skype, there's got to be someone in the chat that says, "It's 2017, use Discord." But Discord, to my knowledge, is not yet doing video chat. They said it's coming, but
hopefully
when Discord has video chat, and if it works as well as Skype, I will be more than happy to start using Discord.
We use Discord a lot, and I mean, we have like a Patreon Discord room, but I mean, we don't use it to stream because the way that we have the setup with Skype, it just works better this way.
Yeah, I mean, Discord. I like Discord for text chatting, if nothing else.
Yeah. So, Mike, what do you have on deck for? I know you just released a video like last night, or was it this morning or last night?
Well, last night, yeah. I don't know why I do Saturday night, but I do it 12 o'clock here, which is 10:30 Eastern time. So, yeah, I guess last night.
I wish we could keep a schedule like that where we released like at a certain time on a certain day, but
yeah,
it's just when it's done at this point.
We used to, but hopefully things are going to be turning around here pretty soon, though. I mean, we are technically. So the Night Trap documentary, I was waiting on a new build of it, and I got that today, and it is uploaded and sitting on the channel now, just waiting to be released.
Right, and you're waiting on the creator to reveal a few more features, and then we can put it out.
I'm hoping that it's going to be this coming week is when I'll be able to release it, because I cannot wait to show it.
That might be like 4 or 5 consecutive weeks that we've said that.
We've been saying it way longer than that. We've been saying it for probably like 8 weeks.
I think it could be. I think it's going to release this week, but like seriously though, like it is like done.
Yeah,
it's like
at the very least, like it is out of my hands, and now I can focus exclusively and very intensely on the Saturn RGB episode, which I have been doing, but I was thinking like, oh, this stuff could come in at any time, and I'm going to have to drop that and move over to this to finish it. But now that has happened, I am dedicating the next 2 days from the time I wake up to the time that I go to bed to Saturn.
Nice.
I think that our nervousness is that we don't want Saturn and Night Trap to release we don't want to release Saturn and then 2 days later it's like, okay, you can release Night Trap now.
Yeah.
That's kind of like our worst fear right now.
Need their space.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think we're gonna be hitting pretty hard for a few weeks.
Yeah, with Night Trap done and then
Well,
Saturn
not for a few
hopefully being
weeks,
done
but,
soon.
you know.
Our intent going forward is to be one episode ahead at all times.
That's not gonna happen. But yeah. We're
Technically, we are
sure.
one episode ahead right now.
Well, yeah, it's true. It's sort of true.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to spend like the first part of this month like kind of getting some. I was hoping I could actually get some more stuff done this weekend, but I seem to have developed con crud from too many games. You know, I thought, you know, con crud has never happened to me before, and I thought, you know, that
You
people
thought you were
always felt
invincible.
it. I thought people always felt it like right when they got home, but it took me like 2 days or so, and then it just knocked me out. So I'm still kind of getting over that. So I haven't really been able to shoot some of the stuff, but at least I was able to get the panel video done, which I think turned out decently.
Yeah.
But yeah, and if anyone does want to see a preview of the Saturn video, you can check out the
Like 4 minutes of it in there, maybe.
Yeah, it's at the end of the panel video, and it you know it's missing some backgrounds, and it's got a few some missing graphics and stuff. It's a preview. It's a preview.
Yeah.
So.
Mike, what is your next video that you have planned?
I should have had it done already, but I got really lazy and wanted to finish Final Fantasy 15, so I haven't made any videos. But I've got the script on. I'm doing a top 10 video on wrestling games, which probably not everybody's jam and not what I usually do for top 10, but I really like wrestling games, so it's fun to talk about. And doing then a video game nostalgia video on Holy Grail games. So I'm going to be talking the rare and expensive, like Little Samson, like we talked about earlier for the NES, and just basically going through a couple systems and talking about what the Holy Grail games are and why they're. Yeah.
Try. Maybe we should do like a video that's like a response, but like in our style.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun. Just kind of take a, you know, what other people do, but like make an episode out of it.
I mean, I honestly was like years and years ago kind of wanted to do that about your do a sort of response video about your this list video that we're
gems.
We could consider this our response to that. I thought about doing it, but I never got around to it. But yeah, I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
I'm planning to do a small follow-up to the Hidden Gems video because there's a couple games that just didn't make it, and I've always wanted to include it, but it's not enough for like a full top 10 or anything like that. So it'll be another one like that. More NES Hidden Gems and probably 3 or 4 games that I'm gonna throw in there.
Nice.
The ones that almost made it.
I'll be looking forward to that.
I think it might be a little bit of a disappointment because it's probably going to be some games on the outside spectrum, like Heavy Barrel. Like Heavy Barrel was one of the ones that almost just didn't make it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And not everybody's going to look at Heavy Barrel and say, yeah, I can definitely see that.
I don't know anything about it, so...
It's an overhead run and gun, right?
Yeah, and it's really, really good.
Interesting.
Try it.
And not
you have to
very
find
expensive.
it. Try, you're gonna get it. It was isn't it? Who did it? It's not Taito. It's an arcade game.
Taito?
I remember Taito.
Well, hold on, I'll tell you right now.
Oh, there he goes.
Ditties.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else they did on the NES. Rampage, I think.
Data East?
Yeah.
They
Bad Dudes, Karnoff.
Yeah, Karnoff. Man. Remember Karnoff?
Remember Karnoff?
Karnoff is like, Mike, if you don't know, Karnoff's kind of like a joke in that we try to fit him into like episodes as often as we can, and usually it's something bad happening to him. Like he's like dying usually or getting beaten in Karnoff's Revenge or something like that. Although we've kind of laid off kind of forgotten about Karnoff a little bit. Maybe
Yeah,
Karnoff will have to go in the Saturn episode somewhere. I don't know where.
Or,
a viewer of the show actually sent you a pristine
Brand
Tiger
new.
Electronics Karnoff.
Yeah, it's
It looks awesome.
yeah, it's
Got like
it's
the
immaculate.
dinosaur and card. It's like the same artwork, isn't it, with the dinosaurs and stuff? It's freaking awesome.
Yep. That's it's not a bad game. It's certainly not a bad game. He's just a stupid character. Really is what.
It's kind of a bad game, but
I don't think so.
He's unofficially Diddy's mascot too. Is the other thing.
Yeah. I mean, he shows up in Bad Dudes, but he's like after the first game, he's like usually shown up as like a bad guy.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do something on Karnoff, like and go through all like his different appearances.
I mean,
The rise and fall of Karnoff.
Yeah, the fall of Karnoff. It'll be like the rise and fall will be like the rise like the first game, and everything else is the fall.
just call it the fall of Karnoff.
He never reaches any kind of like success that he never really actually has a rise. He just like stays even then falls.
And the episode type in the upper right corner of the thumbnail can be Karnov Showcase.
Yeah.
It's like Karnov Showcase, My Life of Gaming.
I wonder if maybe nobody's doing Karnoff videos.
I mean,
I think there's definitely a market out there, a niche for Karnoff related videos, a whole channel dedicated towards Karnoff.
Maybe we could turn Karnov into a documentary.
Maybe we can. Maybe he's based on somebody. Well.
All right. Well, does that do it?
That's gonna do it. Hey, Mike, thanks again for stopping by. It's awesome having you on. You're welcome back anytime you want to stream with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, guys. This is really cool. Something I was really looking forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, everybody. We'll see you next time. Next week.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.